Hey guys, this will be my first and potentially last reaction video. I've never done a reaction video before. It's not I guess it's sort of like doing an animation review. I don't know. It's kind of just a weird paradigm for me. So I will try to just go through this once without pausing, and if I do pause, it'll hopefully just be briefly to react to this. But Yoj came in and said, hey, what do you think of this? And so I'll probably watch this and then I'll do like some commentary on it. But I haven't seen this, so um, I don't know. I don't know what is about to be said. What I will say though is that a as a student of Twitch, I used to stream on Justin TV. In fact, before Justin TV existed, I had a website where I actually had to pay $1,000 a month for live stream hosting. It was just for my website. But before Twitch or whatever ever did live streaming, it used to be you had to have like you had to pay for your own server costs and whatever. And that's when I was doing animation tutorials. So this is so I do consider myself like a student of live streaming and obviously am really concerned with the state of things if my intention has been and continues to be the health of of the streaming community. So anyway, so I'm without further ado, I'm gonna hit play on this and just see what it's all about.
Oh, that's such a big question.
Streaming is exhausting.
You're just screaming into the void on Twitch.
You're just like, I'm going to take a week off and relax. And that whole week is just spent, is anyone going to be there when I'm back? Like,
Streaming is exhausting.
Like, it's really hard to get a follow on Twitch. It's really hard, and it's even harder to get that person who followed to then turn back up for your streams.
Even if I have a stream that was really big, it doesn't matter to me as much as if that stream had moments in it that everybody's gonna, remember.
If you miss a stream, it feels like you've let a bunch of people down and you're just like, are they gonna come back?
Streaming is exhausting.
All right, gang, here's the deal. I have done something a little bit evil.
Oh no.
I have hacked into all of your social media, your Twitch, your YouTube, your Twitter, everything, and I have deleted them. You have absolutely no following anymore whatsoever.
Okay. All gone.
But I am a merciful God.
Right.
So I will give you something back, okay? You can either have 100 average Twitch viewers the moment you go live tomorrow, and you'll always have that minimum, or you can have 1,000 views on every YouTube video you upload in the first 24 hours. Guaranteed. Which would you like back?
So completely from zero, like this isn't building on what I have already.
Without a doubt would be straight for the YouTube option. Going live in Twitch and having 100 people is all good and well, but unless you're really like changing the game on Twitch, that number just doesn't mean anything really in the grand scheme of things.
easily for
Okay. Oh man, I have so much to say already. Um, First of all, the lead in, I would go so far as to say that roughly 90% of partners who have been doing this for a long time are what we would call grandfathered in. That means that they have a channel that has grown from just the organic growth of Twitch itself. And even if they are not a front page streamer, remember 90% of all the viewership is on the front page. That means that the 10% that does still fall according to a very harsh curve. That very harsh curve still does favor people with viewers. The algorithm still does favor people with viewers. Viewers begets viewers. And so what they are saying is that 100 viewers, it doesn't really mean anything. What they are forgetting is that when you have outsized influence on the algorithm because of the fact that you have been here, and when you had 100 viewers, that is the same right now as your outsized influence on the algorithm now that Twitch is 10 times bigger. You may be going live to 1,000 people, and that's not really what this guy is asking. He's actually trying to get to like the root of the problem, which is, do you enjoy the grind of constantly streaming on Twitch, or do you wish that you were doing piecemeal content, videos on YouTube? And he's not asking the right question. So already this video is kind of bullshit. But anyway, we'll go on.
To me, the 1,000 views on YouTube, without a doubt, to get that momentum straight off the bat, putting into people's algorithms and YouTube going, wait a minute, we can push this out to a lot more people.
If those first 1,000 views, that's going to do a lot more for me, I think, in the long run as a content creator than it would on Twitch. Because as soon as you finish on Twitch, you just go back to zero, right?
You're only live.
Right. So these guys are pissed off about the fact that you are only growing when you're live. And so to answer, actually, I'll answer all the questions to you. But if you're paying attention, you already know what I'm going to say right now. What I'm going to say is that if there were a dozen play to partner games, which what we are trying to do, we want to release the SDK that makes Steam Core possible, so that every game can be play to partner. So that every developer, when they release their game, they are giving their best players the chance to have a career as a pro gamer, supporting themselves streaming to Twitch. Which means if you're the very best, when you take a break and you want to go on vacation, you come back, you go right back to where you started. Your community can be let know of all of your schedule, and they can just show up the way that they show up for other types of high skill types of fandom, like sports. What do you stop becoming like a Raiders fan or like a Lakers fan when, like, in the off season? Do you just like hate the team and never show up again? No, because you know that there is the ebb and flow of like professional competition. Anyway, let's go on.
And that's when people can find you. Well, with YouTube, you're always live.
I would go with YouTube because I feel you can build there a little bit more, right? Like if you can get a solid footing on YouTube, you can then build up that Twitch back, like from zero.
The great thing about YouTube, I think, is that it does have that longevity, that you can put out a video and it might get 1,000 views, and then 5 months down the road you produce a video which gets 100,000 views, and then that video that you made earlier that has 1,000 views is now going to get more people feeding back into it. So you keep building on your content. So it's a much better place to start building content. But when it comes to Twitch, if you have 100 viewers now, but you don't have anything to build on tomorrow, what you do tomorrow is all you have. You know, yesterday there's always VODs, sure. There's VODs, but nobody really watches them.
Even if you get the snowball moving on Twitch itself, you're still limited. Like, I've sat in top 3 of a category, even top 1 of a category, and haven't seen that much organic growth that hasn't come from external sources.
1,000 views on YouTube, you keep it up for like a short amount of time, you're gonna get that 100 anyway. Instead of a...
No. No, you're not. You're not. These knuckleheads are all grandfathered in. You can tell. I don't begrudge anybody their success, but it really grinds my gears when I see a take like this. You keep it up for a short amount of time, you're gonna get 100 anyway. You know who I love? I love Summit. I love Summit 1G. I love Shroud. Those two guys, they know what it means to be grandfathered in. And both of them have said on different occasions, multiple times, that if they started on Twitch right now, they would get 0 viewers. They have admitted that, and they know that. And those are students of streaming. Those are people that know what's going on. I don't know what this guy's name is. I missed it when his name tag came up, but this guy doesn't know his asshole from his elbow. I'm sorry.
One or the other, it's gonna become both. If you just like put the effort in, you're gonna get both.
Like I don't stream on weekends. Like that's for me and my partner to enjoy and to do family stuff and whatever. It's hit Sunday night and I was like, oh, is anyone gonna be there tomorrow? I stopped streaming 3 days ago. Like, is anyone going to be there? And it's just like, oh. Whereas like something like a YouTube video, it's always there. It's always like people are watching it whenever. I know there's VODs and stuff, but not a lot of people watch.
I'm reading as I'm talking. I don't want this to be a 40-minute video. The issue, here's the issue. A lot of them are actually just complaining about the same thing. They have found themselves in a position where they are only earning when they're live. And that's kind of what Twitch has been set up to do. As a student of Twitch, what I have observed is that more and more what Twitch is trying to do in order to grow their revenue is to actually just make all of Twitch grow, and to do bigger events and to bring more money into the largest things that are happening. So it seems to me that most of what we are seeing is pushing in that direction. Now, when we are looking at the place for small streamers in this climate, you have to ask yourself, like, is there a place for small streamers in this climate actually? And the answer is not really, not guaranteed. Maybe not at all. And why is that? Well, Twitch feels that in order to do that, they have to follow basically the Hollywood model. Now, what happened in Hollywood was they had all of these special effects movies. That's what they called it before they had something called visual effects. And I was an animator for 20 years, so I was also a student of the film industry before I entered myself. And they had these, like, whatever you wanted to call it, like, action movies, blockbusters, they used to call them. So these blockbuster action movies were like, like Commando. It meant like that there was like literally lots of explosions, and if they crashed like 20 cars, then then that was a big deal. We used to talk about like car chase scenes, like, oh, that movie had a great car chase. When's the last time you heard someone talk about a car chase, right? What happened is that like they made superstars. There was the like Tom Cruise and the Arnold Schwarzenegger and like the Tom Hanks and on the women's side there was the the Meryl Streeps and the Nicole Kidmans and the Michelle Pfeiffers, and like they thought that they could scale the movie industry by doing bigger and bigger movies. And that's the same thing that Twitch is doing. They think that there are going to be more gaming moments if you just make bigger and bigger and bigger gaming events. And how do you do that? You just take the biggest personalities and you throw more money at it. The problem with that model is that YouTube doesn't give two shits about throwing more money at these people and just taking them away. And they know that it hurts Twitch, and they don't know what to do with these people once they get them. They don't actually even care. It's meaningless to them to just like steal a big streamer. It's meaningless. But they know it hurts Twitch, so they do it on occasion. And my observation based on this is that Twitch actually needs to adopt a system where there is higher churn. Here's why. With healthy churn, like if you can work your way up, but you have to keep that, whatever you are doing, you have to keep that thing up, or somebody else can take it immediately. What that means is that YouTube can't just take that one person away, because you're protected. you have 1,000 people waiting to fill that spot who can all do it. So go ahead and pay that person $1 million a year or $10 million a year. Go for it. Knock yourself out. I've got a whole line of 1,000 people who can step right in, and my platform still keeps going. And then if that person gets knocked down, then they can do whatever they need to get that place back again. But what you have right now is you have the Hollywood system. You have like 10 to 20 absolute VIPs, the A-list of A-listers, the Tom Cruises and the Nicole Kidmans of Twitch. So like XQC and Kaisnet and like Pokimane and like and if they all go, let's just imagine they all went. Who would fill that vacuum? There actually is no proper way for that vacuum to be filled because the sponsorship dollars and all of the like event money and like everything that has been set up cannot just suddenly be reconfigured. So my point is, I'll hit play now. This is obviously going to be like a hour-long video. My point is that if you have healthy churn driven by a ongoing real-time mechanic, and I know you know what I'm pitching here, but if you have healthy churn, you actually protect the platform from vulnerability of exactly what these people are talking about. But I haven't heard one of them say something yet that is really all that intelligent. I'm sure they're great people, but they don't know what they're talking about.
Hard to make your first dollar on YouTube, where you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. I feel like you're probably closer to getting 4,000 watch hours with 1,000 consistent views on every single video that you upload.
In the long run, I'd say YouTube's better because, like, worst case scenario, you start streaming on YouTube then once you built more of a following.
YouTube is a platform that does everything. So I'll be able to upload those YouTube videos. I'll be able to stream on YouTube. I'll be able to create YouTube shorts. And I will have a 100% conversion ratio because everyone who watched the video.
Do I even need to say it? 100% conversion ratio? Okay.
Is already on my YouTube.
Right,
I don't have to like, okay, hey, Twitch chat, I posted a YouTube video and then maybe 10 people go over.
Okay, so you've just mentioned something really interesting there, which is conversion rate. I want to ask all of you, if you had 100 average viewers on your Twitch right now, say you chose the other one, and you told those 100 while you were live, hey, I just uploaded a new video, go check it out. How many do you think would go across to check out the YouTube video? And would that get you anywhere close to getting the 1,000 views on your YouTube video?
No, probably not even close. Like, getting people to go from, like, Twitch to YouTube is almost impossible because most of the time, they're already...
What this guy should do is he should make a VTuber account and then just stream and see if he, you know, like he said, if you just do it long enough, get 100 viewers. I would really love to see that guy. He's the one that's annoying me the most in this whole video.
Maybe 5. I don't know. Either way, I feel like it would be a stretch that it was going to be 10. And then why would you want to take people away from your live content? You know what I mean? Like, it just, I mean, I would maybe let them know there's a new video out. Feel free to check it out when you can, but I know that no one's really going to go and check it out.
10 or less people from my 100 average would probably go and watch my YouTube.
Although the premise of the question is actually bullshit as well. Here's why. If you say like, why, like how many of your live viewers would go over and look at it, you're actually asking them to do something that they probably don't do unless it's like literally at the end of their broadcast, and that's not the direction that this information flows. Streamers use YouTube to grow their Twitch following. They may have a YouTube video, and if they have a big following, they'll tell all of their Twitch streamers, hey, juice this video so that it gets bumped up in the algorithm and we get more people coming in here. But that's the flow of information, so I don't really like the premise of the question.
I've actually been polling my audience for the last few years, and every single time I ask this question, the majority will always say they'd rather have 100 average viewers on Twitch over YouTube. What do you guys think about that?
That's crazy.
I think like back when I started, I probably would have said the same thing too. You just learn so much as you grow, like what's important, where to put your time and what's going to be beneficial. I guess like when you're starting off, that's the dream, right? You want to get to that point.
Maybe they're not viewing Twitch and content creation in the same sort of like light that we're viewing it. This is our job. We can sort of see those patterns of growth and be like, okay, what's more beneficial to us?
Aha. Aha. He just nailed it. As a streamer right now, he knows that one of the best ways to get discoverability is to... Actually, sorry, let me back up. The only way to get discoverability is, and this is Twitch's advice, is to grow a following on another social platform and to transfer it over. Transfer it to Twitch where you can monetize it. Because with a very modest following on TikTok or Instagram or Twitter or YouTube, you can actually convert those people, bring them over to Twitch, because Twitch is not going to advertise your channel. They're not going to market your channel, no matter who you are. So it's up to you to create that following with some interesting content. Let's say it's TikTok. Right now, the meta is TikTok. Okay. So you're going to create some interesting content, and you're going to convert people at some sort of rate. Let's say it's like 1%. So 100 views, you'll get one person to click on maybe your go to your Twitch channel. And are you going to convert them into a viewer or follower? I don't know. Who knows? But let's say you have some sort of conversion rate. All of these streamers are looking at this and they're saying like, oh man, 1,000 viewers. That's awesome. 1,000 views on my video, that is awesome. That would really help me out. And they are looking at it that way because they are sitting here thinking that is a really valuable growth mechanic. But how many of these people actually, let's go ahead. It's a good experiment. Actually, 8-bit Elliot, is that his name? Let's see here. Hold on a second. 8-bit Elliot. Shut up. 8-bit Elliot? Is that his name? No, 8-bit Elliot? This is him. Okay. Here we go.
Oh, I got a Chaos Emerald for that.
23 views, 57 views, 57, 88, 93, 73, 74, 81. Okay, so if you go to mine, this one has 4K views, 1.3, 719, 917, 32,000, 1.1K, 3.2K. Now are these huge numbers? I mean, are we talking about, I mean, are we in the money here? No. But what I can tell you by these kinds of numbers is that this guy, this 8-bit Elliot guy, is thinking to himself, I can convert this many people from YouTube, and he's feeling, and all of them actually, I shouldn't just pick on 8-bit Elliot. They're all thinking to themselves, gosh, it really is super valuable to monetizing my Twitch channel. And they're just seeing dollar signs as to there being that kind of constant support. But what they don't realize is that, you know, almost every single one of my videos, 1.3, 719, average those two together, it's 1K each. Here's 971K. This one blew up, 32,000 views, 1.1, 3.2 thousand views, 601, 1.1, 550, 891. I would say actually that my average is actually 1,000 views. Probably. So there's I'm here to tell them that the reality is that you're you're in a position where you have just found yourself having painted yourself into a corner. You are lost in this this awkward, uncomfortable moment where you have basically taken what you consider to be content creation, and by not being smart about what type of content you're making, I did air quotes because it's actually you are sort of like enslaving yourself to the content. So I don't know. I think I've seen enough. I think I can actually just let me just like go fast forward here. Actually, you know what I'll do? I will play back at 2 speed muted, and if there is anything that points out to me, I can read while I talk. So anything that jumps out at me as being like particularly interesting, we can stop. Um, so like we are looking at a brand new mechanic, and there's a brand new opportunity for streamers right now. We played a partner to actually establish what they are doing and to not be shackled to kind of um, that kind of content creation. And that kind of content creation it makes all the difference. I've already spoken about how if you were a person who had um, grown to a certain size with your community by playing play to partner games, then there would be a much different relationship with you and your community than there would with anybody else. It's almost as if you are jumping in and participating in a constant, real time, ongoing tournament that you, whenever you show up, you dominate. And that is something that is a different type of audience that wants to see that high level play, that wants to just be around for those huge like gaming moments. And you don't have to worry about those people disappearing if you like go for a little while. They will be back when the next moment arrives for you to compete. Okay? So it's very much the same as if like there were weekly or daily tournaments that people were wanted to show up for. And those tournaments would mean that again, the fans of a game or a mechanic are there just to see that high level play, and they just really want to just be around to say, I was there when this happened. Some of that comes down to what is in the game that we're talking about. Steam Core is very, very early. It's early access, but I mean like I've only shown you guys a tiny taste of what we have planned, and there's so much more play. They didn't say anything else interesting. There's so much more that we have planned. There's so much more that I want to show you, and part of that actually ties into how we can create these huge gaming moments where there is faction versus faction, like cut all of Twitch in half. And literally, if you are an even Twitch ID, you are the sworn enemy from now on of anybody with an odd Twitch ID. Mine ends with 660. I know that. I have an even Twitch ID. I wonder what yours is. So that's just like some of the stuff that we want to do, and it's going to take talking to more developers and getting more play to partner games like in the works. Okay. Now to answer Yog's question, let me look over here and check it out. Okay. So Yote World wrote, unsure where to post questions. Comment on how the game and community will combat the ever-growing feeling the partner on Twitch is not what it used to be. Partners are screaming out that the platform is brutal and tiring. Well, I think that I have pretty much directly addressed that. In terms of making a sustainable career on Twitch, what none of these partners seem to talk about, and quite frankly, you won't find, I said 90%, it might be more than that. You find these people that kind of have no idea. They don't have a cooking clue how they got to where they are and how their stream actually just grew with the size of Twitch. They got in early, they started streaming, they were at like 50 viewers like 5 years ago, and Twitch is 10 times bigger than it was 5 years ago. So now they have 500 and they think like, yeah, I put in the hours, and this is just, yeah, this is the level that you really have to work hard to get to. You just stayed around. Okay. But you have to look at Play to Partner and all of any game that is going to be on Echelon in the future as a way to establish that gaming as a career should be an option, should be a path for those who are competing at the highest level. You know, interestingly, in all my pitches to like VCs and stuff, I always go into this sort of like future talk where I say something along the lines of like Ready Player One had it almost dead on. And it's funny because, you know, the book and the movie really had no context that was surrounding streaming. But one moment at the end of Ready Player One is extremely important. And it's the moment where Parzival says he's standing in front of the castle, and they put the force field around it, and he says, I'm going to send out a message to the whole oasis. And that's what he does. He broadcasts to the whole oasis. Now let's break down that moment just for a second. That kind of means that he had the ability to go live, and because he was at the top of the leaderboard, Parzival had the most points, he found the most keys. It kind of meant that he was given that platform because he's the best at the game. I keep on having to do this. But do you see where I'm going with this? Ready Player One is about Play to Partner. You earn the ability to connect with more people and have a platform the better you are at the game. And the people and the citizens of the Oasis understand that there is a huge premium placed on actually being good at the game. The entire hierarchy is arranged to reward those players. And yet it's not about streaming at all, but in reality, it is a perfect analogy, isn't it? So Ready Player One is actually the proper analogy for where this is headed. And I don't even know what to point to compare what these people are talking about. Because these poor people are basically, they have designed their own prison. They're talking about like how awful it is that Twitch does this. And I love the word that Yote World used in our Discord, where they're screaming about how hard it is to sustain on Twitch. The reality is that they were given a blank canvas and they designed their own prison. If you go live every day and you have to, and you see that your viewer count goes up and your sub count goes up every month, whenever you play a ton of indie games with jump scares, and you piss yourself every single time something jumps out, you're going to get pretty damn tired of having to do that to grow. But people can't resist. People can't, they can't see while they're doing it that what they are doing is literally drawing the walls of the cage that will contain them. And after years of having to, and you would struggle just to find the right games that are going to bring more people back and bring the people you already have, bring them back to watch that kind of content. It would be exhausting. Your adrenal glands would be Swiss cheese after a couple months of daily streams of that. But all of these people, listen, I've got love for my fellow human. I don't blame them. I don't. I'm not saying that each one of them couldn't have a much better understanding of the mechanisms behind growth on Twitch. They might than me. But it's hard when I see it be so damn consistent across the board. Every single one of them saying the same thing that I've been basically saying is the problem here. It's hard not to just point out that they are all complaining about a prison of their own making. So to answer concisely, Yotrol, thank you for the question. But how does Play to Partner address the current feeling of streamers that it is unsustainable to stream on Twitch? The concise answer is it doesn't address it. It completely replaces it. So if you want to do that with me, then stay on board, because we're just getting started. Thanks for watching, guys. Rock on.